Hello, good day everyone. So I've recently heard that the mid-year SEM has been extended, no? And in fact, yung deadline of submission of grades now has been extended to August 5. So we can move the deadline instead of August 1, 11:59 p.m. We can move it to probably August 3, 11:59 p.m. I'll make a separate announcement on this. Pero for those who have submitted, I've already parang preliminarily checked your work, no? Maganda naman yung mga na-output na na-submit. Pero if you want to edit it, improve on it further, pwede naman just email me. I can revert it back to a draft. Tapos, from that draft, pwede ko siyang from the draft, you can edit your submission. So, right? Just let me know. Okay? So, I'll do another practice problem dito, and maybe I'll also introduce some new techniques and probably also introduce some formatting tools na pwede nyo gamitin dun sa layout para to make your work a little bit cleaner, no, and more readable. All right. So I'm taking an example from this website. This is and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, no, moriloleal.com.br, and it's a good website. It has a lot of CAD exercise, both 2D and 3D. So if you want to just practice, no, pwedeng you can visit this website. I'll link it in the description, or i-link ko din doon sa announcement natin doon sa Oble. Okay? So, you can save this. Pwede ang gawin natin is I can just take a screenshot, then save it. I already did that, no? So, screenshot ko na to, tapos sinave ko as a PNG. So, if I go back into AutoCAD here, again, like before, yung practice problem 1 natin, I just use the external reference command. No? So, I do xref, tapos, may magpa-pop out na menu like this, and we can attach image. And I'll select, I think this is the file. Yeah, ito yung file na sinave ko. So I'll just open. Again, specify on screen. And ilalagay ko again sa 0, 0. Yung sa insertion point. Okay, again. So 0, 0. Yeah. Para nasa origin siya, mas madaling hanapin. No? So I'll just set the scale factor to 1. And ito siya. Right, so ito siya. Okay, and probably pwede ko nang i-close itong external reference. So this is my image now. Right? So, trying to follow to. So this is, again, nakalagay lang siya sa ground or dun sa XY natin. Para madali natin ma-retrieve, no? So if you just want, just go top view if you want to make it flat. Pero again, usually I just like to work like this, no? Para mas madali magawa yung mga different na 3D commands like press, pull, etc. Okay? So, if you look at the image, pero I'll just go into top view first para mas makita nyo. If you look at the image, this is just sectional view yung pinakita nyo, no? So, we'll be recreating this sectional view. Sectional view, tapos doon sa sectional view niya, pinakita niya yung dimensions doon, and also a 3D render, no? Shades of gray yung ginamit niya dito. Right? So, we can probably do this in 2 parts, no? Parang relatively mas madali. What makes this a little bit difficult is the angled portion, no? Pero it's not too difficult. Kaya pa rin naman natin. We can do this in 2 parts. First part is itong cylinder, and the second part is itong parang what do you call this? Parang flange, no? Na nagpo-protrude out of the cylinder. Okay? So, the cylinder will be quite easy. Sige, since yun yung mas madaling portion, let's just do it. It's just a circle, and it has an outer radius or outer diameter, I mean, of 50, and an inner diameter of 25. So let's do that. So I'll do cylinder command, tapos make a diameter that is, let's do diameter. So I'll just press D, enter, and I'll type in 50. Okay, then I'll pull it up by, what's the total height? The total height is, I should have probably taken note of the total height first, no? Total height is, this is 10, this is also 10, and I think this is also 10, no? Hindi niya explicitly sinabi yung overall height, but I think we can assume na nasa center to, no? Okay? By the way, wait lang ha. Kung 15 to, this is 15. Sorry. Ito at 10 is pertaining to this one. So it's 15 dito sa gitna, then 10 on the upper part and 10 on the lower part. Right? So ang overall niya should be 15 plus 20. Right? So kung 15 plus 20, that becomes 35. Right? So let's do it again. Cylinder. So I'll do the outer diameter first. Again, diameter. And I'll type in a diameter of 50. Pull it up by 35. So that's our cylinder now. Okay? Now, I'll just move this cylinder dito para mas malinaw. And probably change my... Okay lang. Hindi natin babaguhin. Now, I'll make a circle na that is half the diameter of the original one. We can make the circle. And this is another tool that can help you, I don't know, make drawings or make markings on the different planes or faces of your object on the fly without going into UCS. No? Kasi usually if ginagawa natin is kumbaga, when we want to draw on other planes other than the default na world coordinate system, usually nag-UCS pa tayo, no? Tapos change the UCS, pero there is a faster way of doing it, especially if you have relatively simple shapes pa lang sa simula. You can actually make use of this option right here. This is what we call as dynamic UCS. Tapos pwede siya i-toggle on and off. Kung hindi siya lumabas dito, it's probably because naka-off siya dito, no? Baka naka-uncheck to. Ay, no, sorry. Asan yung dynamic? Ito. Naka-uncheck siguro siya. Kaya wala siya dito sa options. So, just check it and nandito na siya. So, if naka-off siya, hindi mag-activate yung dynamic UCS. Pero pag naka-on siya, naka-toggle on, then it can create UCS for you in a smart way, no? Parang in a dynamic way. And let me show an examples. Kung kunwari, if I do a circle command, pwedeng if I just hover over a particular face, parang mag-color blue siya, no? Or it's highlighted in blue. And that means that the dynamic UCS is active here. So parang sinasabi niya na I can dynamically change the UCS and make it onto this top plane right here. Okay? So, if I look at the bottom as well, tapos dito ko nilagay, parang maha-highlight siya. It means that the dynamic UCS has placed the our UCS onto this plane. So, parang it's similar to using UCS, tapos face, then selecting this one. Pero it's doing it automatically and dynamically on the fly. Okay? So, in some cases, helpful to dynamic UCS, pero in other cases magiging hindrance siya, no? Kasi parang magtataka kayo bakit bigla-bigla na lang nalalagay yung drawings ko on planes that hindi ko naman gusto. So that's because baka naka-on yung dynamic UCS. So there is a time and place for it, no? But for the most part, ako personally naka-off siya sa akin. Pero may certain cases na parang, especially at the start of my drawing, simple shapes pa lang, okay lang sa akin na naka-on siya. Okay? So let's do that. I'll do a circle. I'll find the center of the circle and I'll just hover over. And hindi siya nagpe-persist. Bakit kaya? Oop. So I'll just do right-click na lang muna. And I'll do O-snap overrides. I'll do center para mag-snap siya. And for some reason, hindi siya. Ayan. Nag-snap na siya. Okay? Then, I'll do diameter again. And I'll input 25. Again, hindi nyo man kailangan gawin yung diameter always, no? Pwede namang, if you can do mental math, pwede namang yung kahit yung default na radius lang i-type nyo. For example, kung 25, edi 12.5 yung radius. Okay? So, ito, once I have this guide circle right here, pwede ko nang i-press pull kasi if you look at the cylinder, straight hole siya pababa, no? So, I can do press pull. Hover over this area. Press pull natin siya diretso pababa. And what happens is, it creates a hole. Right? So, we're done with the cylinder or yung parang tube part dito. So, that's relatively easy. Next natin gagawin is yung ito parang natin, protrusion or yung extension na to. Okay? So, the easiest way to do this is probably using the cross-section here, no? Parang yun yung gagamitin natin. If you can do the cross-section, pag ganyan, tapos i-extend out na lang natin, then that will be quite easy, no? Okay? So, there are several ways to do this. We can place it on the ground first using the world coordinate system lang. Tapos, 3D rotate na lang natin afterwards, then place it in this particular cylinder where it's supposed to be placed. Or pwede naman, buuin na natin siya in the correct orientation na. And I think that would be easier, no? If we draw it the correct orientation. So for example, if we draw it here, dito sa along this plane right here, and let me just siguro give you an idea. Parang if I draw it along this plane, parang ganyan. So dito ko i-drawing yung parang profile na to. Then I could easily just extrude it papunta dun sa likod, and therefore mako-complete ko na yung object. So it's better na ang gawin ko is nabago ko na yung UCS ko along this plane right here, itong XY na plane na to. That will be the fastest way to do it. No? So the way you can do this is to go into the visualize, into the ribbon. Meron tayong mga groupings. No? If you look at the visualize, meron siyang mga different options dito. No? So I taught you the UCS command, and that's for if you want granular control talaga na kung saan nyo siya gustong ipatong yung UCS. Depending on the settings, pwedeng face, pwedeng world, XYZ. Marami siyang options, no, to do UCS. Usually, I just do UCS or UCS using the face na command, patong ko sa isang face, or UCS using the Z-axis, no, parang i-indicate ko kung saan yung Z-axis ko, and it will find the XY for me. Okay? Pero if it's in a direction that is parang common direction or part of the primary directions or primary faces, then it should be located somewhere here, no? So for example, ito, nandito si world, si top, si bottom, si left, si right, front, and back. So ako, since I'm working on the front view, essentially yung front, oh no, sorry, this is not the front view, no? Kasi this should be the side view. Tama? Kasi if we did it in the front, ang mangyayari is magpupull tayo papunta dyan. Then our front essentially becomes, or our side view becomes our front view, which we don't want. So dapat pala, we should do it on the right side view, no? Kasi ito yung front view kasi natin. So if I look at it, balik muna tayo sa world, no? If you look at it here, ito kasi side view kasi ito. So this is our side. Our front is supposed to be here. Yung nakatingin tayo dito. So dapat, ang gagawin natin para wala na tayong 3D rotate na gagawin like the previous na video na pinakita ko, no? Yung last time parang nagkamali ako sa initial orientation or hindi ko na-adjust sa start pa lang, so kaya nag 3D rotate pa tayo noon. Pero it's no big deal naman, no, pag nag 3D rotate. Pero para prevent natin yon, let's do it na naka-orient na properly itong extrusion na yun. So what we want is dapat, ang gagamitin natin would be the right side view, no? So maglalagay tayo ng kumbaga yung new UCS natin is at the right side view. So that's, if I look at the top, naka right side na ba to? Yeah. Yung bagong XY ko would be ito, no? Nandito ako. Tama, parang ganyan. So that's my new XY. Nandito sa right side na to. Right? So, let's draw it. I'll just draw a rectangle for now, no? Para lang, I have a guide. Kasi what I want is, I want to draw this part first. Ito. Then I'll draw this one. And I'm drawing it in this right side part, no? Para pag nag-extrude ako, papunta dun sa length nito. If I extrude it there, then sakto na agad yung parang profile na yun, no? So that's why I'm doing it dito sa right side view na to. Right? So let's look at the dimensions first. Sorry, I'm hopping in between different views, no? Hopefully hindi pala naman kayo nahihilo. So ito, it's located 10, 15, and 10. So ito, straight center to, no? So we can just create a rectangle from a location of 10. Create tayo. Tapos we can end here. Ito, starting rectangle muna. So we can do something like 15 by 25. So it's 25 in length, no? That is starting from 10 dito. Okay? So balik tayo dito. So I can just draw a reference line. And I can do a line here. I'll just draw 10. Para lang alam ko kung saan mag-end, no? Yan. Then from this endpoint right here, ang gagawin natin is we do 25 by 15. Tama? Something like that. So that's our first rectangle now. Okay? And probably pwede ito i-delete, no? Hindi natin kailangan to. So we have our first rectangle, which would be this one. Itong rectangle na to, no? Next is we want to create this one. So it's And thankfully, naka-align na yung dimensions dito. No? So, ito, buong 50 to. So, we can do the parang base muna niya. Tapos, at saka natin i-carve out tong mga necessary itong mga features na to. No? Ito, carve out lang natin to. Tapos, ito, i-carve out din natin yung circle na yan. Okay? So, it's 50. So, we can just draw a line. 50 papunta dyan. Tapos, 15 papunta dito. Then, we can extend this line at kung saan siya tumama dito, trim out lang natin yung excess. Another option would be to draw a rectangle. Tapos, rotate natin siya by 50 along this base point. Rotate natin such that magiging 150 na siya dito. So, parang i-rotate natin siya papunta dito 30 degrees. And I think that would be easier, no? So, what we can do is, para ma-achieve natin to, we can do a rectangle muna that is 50 by hindi ko na take note yung dimensions. 50 by 15, tama. Okay. So that's 50 by 15. So first I'll do rectangle here. That's 50 by 15. Ganyan. Tapos what we'll do is we'll select this rectangle and we do rotate and we'll select this as the base point. Tapos gusto ko ikot siya pag ganyan, no? And I'm trying to rotate it 30 degrees para yung nasa bottom portion would be now 150 degrees. So I do 30. And just to check, and pwede siguro i-hide ko muna ito, no, para lang makita nyo. Hide objects. If I check, measure the angle of this and this one and measure natin. Measure angle. Hindi yata niya na-detect. Na-detect ba? Measure angle of this vertex. Hindi niya nakikita, no? So, kailangan ko ata i-trim muna. So, let me just trim this first para lang nakita niya. So, if I do measure angle, this one, its angle is 150, no? So, tama lang. Yun yung kailangan. Nakikasulat dito, no? Angle equals 150. Okay? Which is exactly yung kailangan natin dito. If you look at it, 150 daw yung angle. So, we have successfully created this one. So, ang next na lang natin is we'll have to carve this out. Ito. So, that's 10. And it's starting from hindi naka-indicate. Paano natin malalaman kung gaano siya kalayo from this point to this point? Walang sinabi. We'll make an educated guess, no? Kasi hindi niya sinabi dito. We'll make an educated guess that this feature right here is at the center of this entire length. So, 50. So, we can do 25 para lang mahanap natin to. Tapos, we'll make this notch right here. So, it's 10 and 5 yung depth niya sa notch. Okay? So, we can do is, hanapin lang muna natin yung center dito. And probably, we can just diretso na drawing, no? Rectangle, ano yun? 10 and 5. Tama? 10 and 5. Let's jumping back and forth. 10 and 5. Okay? Ito siya. Tapos, I'll just move this. Rotate muna. Rotate this by around this base point. And again, rotate lang natin same as before, 30. And I'll move by its midpoint here. Ang galawin ko siya, hanapin ko din yung midpoint dito. So, I should have found kung nasan yung midpoint. Okay? And from here, pwede na i-trim din to. Trim. Hindi niya na-detect as a trimmable, maybe it's because, wait lang let me just end object isolation. Maybe we need to explode this first. So I'll just do explode first. Explode. Okay, para separate lines na siya. Probably that will work. Trim. Ayaw pa rin mag-trim. I'm in the XY plane. Okay? So, okay lang. Kahit hindi na lang muna natin i-trim. Kasi okay lang naman, ma-detect pa rin naman to. Pero, OC kayo, pwede ko namang i-stretch to, no? Probably because naka-on dynamic, Let me try it with, yun, mukhang yun ata yun. Not sure if yun ba talaga yung reason. Pero ngayon na-trim na siya. Baka nung naka-on ang dynamic input, nag-snap siya into a different na UCS, no? While it's hovering over the different areas. So, not entirely sure pero gumana na yung trim. So, okay na to. Next is, pwedeng okay na yata to. Tama? Kasi we can now extrude this. So, I'll show you. If I extrude it, yung profile na yun, extrude it papunta dito, then carve the hole out, I'll be done with the object. No? Okay? So, pwedeng gawin ko na ngayon is to do press pull. And hindi niya detect as a surface. No? So, let me just hide this first. It's probably because isolate, hide object. Let me just trim this. Zoom lang natin in. Okay. Tapos, ito, i-join ko lang siya. Join to make it one path. And if I do press pull now, that should enable me to find this path. Pag ganyan. Oh, sorry. Again, let's do press pull. Find this path. And I'm extruding it by, what's the dimensions? I forgot. Let me check the dimension now. I'm extruding it up to the opposite corner. No? So, it should be the same as the diameter of the outer circle. So, 50. So, extrude natin to. So, press pull. Extrude this one by 50. Okay? So, if I end object isolation, then probably pwede ko na i-delete to, no? Itong guideline ko na to. So, do end object isolation and that should fit perfectly, no? Parang ganyan. So, we're almost done. Gawin na lang natin is carve out the hole here and parang useful lang magiging UCS dito, no? Find natin si center of this object. So, probably the easiest way to find the center is to create a line. Parang ganyan. And this is just a reference line, no? And that should be the center. I'm just using the diagonals now to find the center. And the circle has a diameter of 10. Itong small circle na to or small hole na to. So I can just do, and again, dahil naka-on dynamic UCS ko, para smart siya na nahanap na yung plane na yun. No? So I'll do circle and I can just do 5, no? Kasi radius of 5, diameter of 10 kasi. Okay? Then, para makapag-press pull ako na maayos, let me just turn dynamic UCS. So, let me click hindi ko nakiklick yung line. No? I'll just hide this first. Hide objects para maklik ko yung line. Para maka-properly, let me delete the lines. And let me end object isolation again. And I'll do press pull. And I'll select this object. Press pull ko siya downwards. Pag ganyan. And your dynamic UCS must be on here, no? Kasi again, yung press pull kasi works on the XY plane. So kung hindi, and let me show you, kung hindi naka-on yung dynamic UCS, no? And I try to press pull, this shouldn't work. And biglang nag-on siya again. Hindi siya nag-work, tama? Pagka kiniklik ko, parang sabi daw, click a face curve or inside the bounded area. Parang hindi niya na-detect. Kasi yung current XY ko ngayon is nandito sa sa front view, sa right side view. So, hindi possible na mag-press pull ako dito. Okay? So, kung gusto nyo na hindi nagbabago ng UCS, pwedeng i-on lang yung dynamic UCS na to para automatic na de-detect niya. So, it's because dynamic UCS is on now, kaya na niyang ma-detect itong hole na to. So, I can just press pull. Pababa. Okay? And we're almost done. Ito, slightly complete na pero meron pa siyang additional dito, no? Ito, we'll have to remove this kasi straight hole siya dapat. So, we do press pull again. And let's try to find this bounded area. And mukhang hindi niya nahanap, no? So, what we need to do is we need to unionize this first. So, union lang muna natin para one single object siya. Ganyan. So, that's one single object. And pagka nag-press pull tayo, I should be able to find this one now. And My dynamic UCS is on again here, no? Right? Now, para lang hindi ako malito, I'll turn back the coordinate system to world coordinate system, no? And I have this one, and the X-ray might be confusing you, so let's do hidden lang muna, and we can see the shape of the object, no? And let's do shades of gray pala. Shades of gray para similar siya dun sa ano. And let's move this closer dun sa reference natin. And we can remove these guidelines. And kung titingnan natin, very close siya dun sa ano. Let's move this again. And very close. And siya, although parang malayo ko ata na move to, no. Pero that's fine. Okay lang. Kasi if I do zoom, sobrang layo ko siya nalagay. Let me just adjust this kasi baka and malayo din siya from the Z. That's a problem with ano, no. If you're using the move command ng hindi masyadong tinitingnan kung nasaan kayo na view. Minsan nalalagay nyo sa malayong lugar, no. So ito, I think okay na to. Right, so I'll do world coordinate system again. And yan. So makikita natin it's now exactly the same as our reference image. Okay, so we have created our object, and if you look at properties, control 1, isang solid lang siya. Right? So pwede ko na siguro i-delete tong reference image. Sige, balikan natin itong reference image na to later on. Okay, so hide ko lang muna to. I'll hide the reference image, isolate, hide. Tapos ngayon, let's go into layout tab. So let's delete the default viewport. Tapos insert tayo ng multi-view, and we can always name our layouts, no. So hindi ko pinakita to kanina pero dun sa previous video, pero pwede mo yung i-rename siya. So we can just double click here. Tapos I'll just say MV and ISO. Tapos I'll name this one sectional. Okay. Tapos dito sa multi-view and ISO, pwede natin gawin. We can do, again, punta tayo sa layout, then base, from model space. Then, before that, pag-uwi mo natin yung styles and standards, kailangan third angle tayo, no? Para yung default na ES1 views yung makikita natin. Right? So again, base, from model space, and let's do front view para pwede natin siyang ilagay yung top view here, the side view here, and the isometric view here. Okay, and press enter. Then again, eto babaguhin natin. Gusto natin wala siyang hidden lines, no? Visible lines lang. And that will be our multi-view projection. Okay? Now, you might be, kasi by the default, if you do L weight, kunwari, tapos display ko yung line weight to para makita ko kung how it looks like when printed as PDF or when plotted as PDF or printed on paper. Ganito yung itsura. And sometimes baka isip nyo, baka masyadong makapal naman yung hidden lines. Maybe I want to change that. Pwede actually gawin nyo is go into the layouts. So layers pala, So layer properties. Tapos, pwede actually nyo magkakaroon siya ng once you do this, no, magkakaroon siya ng different layers for the different na parang lines. So what I can do, kunwari, itong hidden lines na to, I can change this, no? Parang, kunwari, I want it to be a different color. I can do that. If I change it, kunwari ito, change it to blue. Dapat, and bakit hindi siya nag-change? It should have changed, no? Wait lang, let me double check. Tama ba itong pinili ko? Sorry. VP color pala to. I'm not sure what VP color means, no? So, balik ko lang siya sa original, which is index color 7. Balik ko lang sa original. Ito pala. Dapat ito. So, if I change this, and I'll also change this, you can see, dapat nagbago na dito. And wait, kahit hindi siya nagbago. Hidden. Hindi nga nagbago dito, no? Did I change it correctly? Try ko lang i-change to, no? I-change ko to. Hindi siya nag-update. Why isn't it updating, no? Kasi if I look at this one, let's try Regen. Try ko lang, bumalik. Back and forth. Hindi nga nagbago dito. Okay, kailangan dito ko baguhin pala. Not sure why, I don't know. Dito lang siya nagbabago. It should change as well dito. Kasi this is the layer, the general layer properties. Oh well. Probably because, wait lang, check ko lang to. Anyway, mukhang it's how it's designed. Mukhang once na na-create na siya, you can't change the colors. So what we can do, sige, pwedeng wag natin baguhin to. What we can do is I'll just change this back first. Mas gusto ko lang bawasan yung weight niya, no? So what I can do is change the weight of this one, which should be dito, no? Let's change the weight to something smaller, kunwari. Let's do 0.2. Tingnan natin kung magbabago siya. And it did change, no? So, pagka changing weights, it affects it globally. Pero for some reason, si color can only be changed here, no? I'm not sure why that's the case, pero let's do that. So, for example, kung gusto nyo na lighter si hidden lines para hindi naman siya nagko-compete with the visible lines, you can do that, no? Layer properties, just change nyo lang dito. Gawin yung less thicker. So, maybe 0.25 will be better. Parang ganyan. So, those are some formatting tools that you can, or formatting options that you can explore, no? And it will be useful dun sa sectional view actually, no? Pakita ko sa inyo. This looks good. Kaya na to. And we can add text blocks, title blocks here if you want, etc., etc. Right? We can also make this, if you notice here, there are different ways of doing the tangential na mga areas, no? So if you double click, pwede ring look at visibility, and let's look at tangent edges. If you click no, mangyayari is it will actually remove the tangent edge, so to show na parang smooth na siya. It's a smooth na area moving from this one to the tangential. Wala naman tayong standards na establish the standards for this. So it depends on you guys na lang kung ano yung mas strip nyo. You can do with edges or without. So it's your call na lang. Okay? So that's your multi-view and isometric. Tapos let's do sectional. Again, delete lang natin yung default viewport. Tapos add tayo ng sectional. Let's do base ulit. Base from model space, and I think the top view would be right side view would be the best here, no? Kasi para makita natin, or we can do top view pala. Mas maganda top view kasi doon natin siya ipuputulin, no? And then from the top view, magpo-produce tayo ng section right side view. Okay? So, pwede natin ilagay siya somewhere dito. Pwede na to. Okay? And we can also, para hindi na tayo mag-go into the trouble of creating yung additional projections, pwede naman dito sa type, you just do base only, no? So wala nang, by default is based and projected kasi. So we can do based only para pag kinlik natin to and press enter, automatic mag-create na siya ng ganyan. So hindi na siya mag-project pa. Okay? So ito, section, let's do section, and let's do from object. Pwede rin full section. from object ata ginawa natin before and we selected this object, pero pwede naman full section diretso na, no? It will still ask you to create the parent view for it. Tapos, gagawin natin is we select this one and we'll just do a full section dire-diretso lang, no? The full section dire-diretso hanggang dito. And I'll place the section onto the right. We can place it left or right. I'll place it here. Press enter. And we should have our section view. Now, ang kulang na lang dito would be the center lines. No? So we do center lines. Click this one and this one. And we can also do center line. Click this one and this one. Although, bakit hindi siya nag-long, short, long? Baka dahil masyadong maliit yung ano. Let me do it again. Center line. This and this. Baka sa scale. Let's do property scale. Let me scale this down. 0.5 kunwari. Yun nga. Kasi masyadong malaki yung scale, no? So, ginawa ko 0.5 para lumitaw siya. So, you can access it to the properties. No? Ito, then properties. Then just type in 0.5. So, lumita siya. Okay? So, again, same as before, no? Pwede natin baguhin yung color. So, for example, if I'm not satisfied with this color, kung gusto ko ibang color yung hatching niya, pwedeng I can do hatching. May lalabas dito. Ito, hatching. Pwede natin baguhin yung color. Let's say, for example, I want my hatching to be red. And you can change it to something like that, no? Not sure if you would want to go that route, pero there are cases wherein baka gusto nyo na parang increase yung contrast between the hatch lines and the visible lines. You can access that, no? Okay, and from here, pwede naman if you want to add dimensions, same as before, no? I think we did this in class. From the layout, you can actually add dimensions now. So dim, you can use the dim command. Like for example, ito, I can place dimensions there. I can do dim. I can place, ito from here to here. So on and so forth. Okay. Not sure why it defaulted to this, this style. Let me check. Ano bang annotation option ko? I use ISO 25. If I change this to annotative, ito gawin natin annotative. If I change this to annotative, would it change? Kasi nasa hidden layer siya ginawa. Okay. Yes. So, kaya siya naging ganyan kasi I actually chose the hidden layer, no? So, nalagay ko kasi siya by accident dito sa, I'm actually at the hidden layer, no? Dapat sa 0 siya. Okay. And now, nawala na yung broken lines. Okay. Alright. So, let me go back to hid. Put that as 0 para mas madali, no? Okay. So, again, if you want to add dimensions, kunwari, ito. If you want to really recreate the, we can add several dimensions, no? And so on and so forth. Okay. And you can do this to your project number 2 din, no? Add dimensions to it para mas thorough siya. Okay. So, again, bunch of formatting options you can explore. If you want to change specific na, just go into the layers tab. Makikita naman, and fairly intuitive naman yung, yung naming niya. So, kunwari, MD on annotations specifically means itong mga dimensioning. So, if I want the dimensionings to be, kunwari, blue, and dapat nilagay ko sa annotative, no? MD annotations. So, kunwari ganyan. Ito, magbabago din siya. Magiging, if I can click it, no? Ito, and this one. I'll place it in the annotation layer. And even dun sa, itong mga AA, these are annotations, itong section view na to. So, nagbago na rin siya. So, probably, if I were to do this, I'd make it such that the hatchings would be blue din. Parang, if I were to just, I think this looks good, no? It has good contrast without making it overly distracting, no? Parang ito. Medyo good contrast na siya. Tas, it looks good. So, you can explore different na formatting options to fit your needs. Kaya na bala. Pero, again, this is another exercise just to show you the workflow of what you can do to create your projects. And hopefully it helps, no? Again, the deadline for the submission is extended. Pwede tayo hanggang August 3, 11:59 p.m. And for those who have already submitted and gusto nyo i-edit yung work nyo, if you want to try to spice things up or improve your work, then just email me. I'll revert it back to draft. Tapos you can resubmit another work. No? Okay? Thank you for listening. I'll see you. Oh, sorry. Hindi na pala tayo magkikita. So, hopefully you had a wonderful SEM. Sayang lang na nagkaroon tayo ng several cancellations due to the typhoon. Pero hopefully you learned something, no? And okay, hopefully hindi ko na kayo makikita next time, no? Okay. All right.